With us now in studio, Samer Sinijlawi, a Fatah activist from Jerusalem. Samer, good to see you again. Do you think these protests, they are growing, they're spreading across Palestinian Authority-controlled cities? Will it lead to the end of Abbas, or will the brutality, in many cases, of the police force, will it put an end to the demonstration?
Well, this has been going since the 24th of June, almost 10 days and more. And it shows every day that the public in the streets, in every city in the West Bank, is very angry and is showing their anger towards the authority. And it has been proven that the Palestinian people are very stubborn people. The Israeli occupation was never able to cool down the anger of these people. So I think this will not end. It will continue peacefully, I hope, because we have a message that we will not have any kind of Palestinian civil war here.
There is a promise, though, from the Palestinian Authority of reform with the government's with the police conduct. There is a promise for a full investigation, a promise of reform. Does anyone believe that?
This will not help. I think the Palestinian public now is aware that this leadership is more dangerous than COVID, and it should be treated, it should be isolated, it should leave the political scene as soon as possible. There is no way the Palestinian people, after this leadership, including the head of this leadership to the head of the security agencies, they have the blood of an innocent Palestinian on their hand, a father of 4 children, somebody that was only criticizing and speaking his mind in a very honored way, he was a loving person to Palestine. He did nothing wrong. He was not affiliated with anybody. He cannot be treated as a traitor, as they accuse him. So I think this is a red line that they have crossed, and people will not forgive this.
Eventually, then, if we talk about the future of Fatah, I mean, for many in Israel and many around the world, they know if it's not Abbas, is it going to be Hamas then? Is it Mohammed Ahlan? Who? I mean, eventually, in a post-Abbas era, who could it be leading the Palestinian government?
The election boxes will define. It's not anybody can predict now. We should respect the right of the Palestinian people to select and elect their leadership every 4 years. And the international community, including Europe, including the USA, should be the safety valve for this process. We should be granted the right to vote. So whoever will come is welcomed as far as he comes through the election boxes. And I'll tell you something, leave Hamas away of the scene. They will not win any coming elections. The Palestinian people is a moderate, secular, this is the majority of the people, and they will elect a leadership that reflects this trend among the society.
Over the last 16 years, Abbas is now 16 years into a 4-year term, there have been many protests, even protests bigger in size than we're seeing now. The Palestinian Authority has a security force, their police force can be quite brutal and oppressive. And what makes this different, do you think?
This is a test for everybody. And this is the test for the international community. If the international community who heavily invest in funding this authority will allow this authority to use brutality against peaceful protest, against people who demand simple rights to speak, freedom of speech, to elect the leadership that represents them. And if any leadership does not respect internally the rights of its people, it does not have any legitimacy to represent the rights of these people in front of the others. Who give them the legitimacy to negotiate with the Israelis or with the international community, or receive a donation, or receive Blinken in his office? Who gave him this legitimacy? He has been employing himself for 16 years against the will of the people. And it's clear now that the people want to change and want him to leave. This is serious.
Samer, thank you so much for being with us in studio. Great to have your perspective on i24 News tonight. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.